Howdy, my name's Ranchicus, and I'm a solo indie developer looking to make Shopkeeper's Requiem, a fantasy RPG shopkeeping game where you sell items to adventurers and other citizens. A little backstory on myself. I've always loved epic gamer games, and I've always wanted to make my own epic gamer game, so now I'm doing it. I really like tycoon and management games, and this is an idea I've had in my head for a really long time. I take inspiration mainly from the 2007 game Recettear, which has an almost identical concept. More recently, I've been encouraged to start working on my own dream project by Digital Sun's Moonlighter and Strange Fire Studios' Shopkeep. So I guess that takes us on to the devlog. I plan to release one of these videos every Sunday, detailing all the work that I've done over the past week on the game. That being said, I do have a full-time job that regularly demands overtime, so I don't have all the free time I'd like to work on the game, so these aren't really promises as much as they are my own personal goals, but I'll try to have a video for this channel up every Sunday to document the progress, no matter how much actual work I actually get done. Also, the game is being developed in Unity. I know a lot of people have gripes with Unity, but as a programmer with quite a few years of experience under my belt, I don't really see too many problems with it, and I like it, so that's what I'm using. The first task, of course, was to set up the main character and have them controllable by the player. This was a pretty easy task, to be honest, as most of the tools for this are pre-built into Unity. After that, I set out to make the display tables. These are the first pieces of shop furniture in the game, and they can display one item at a time. The idea is that customers see items on the table, decide whether or not they'd like to purchase it, then grab it and take it up to the main checkout counter to purchase. I am not a 3D modeler in the slightest, so of course I just made them out of cubes in Unity, and I'll repeat myself at the end of the video, but I am looking for people experienced in 2D and 3D artwork to help me make something that doesn't look like absolute dog shit. After I got the basic setup of the display tables done, it was time to make something to put on them. I planned for the general aesthetic of this game to be a 3D world with 2D characters and items. So for instance, you, your customers, enemies, and all items will be two-dimensional sprites, while the tables and buildings that they're in will be 3D. By now, you've probably noticed that I'm just using textures from Minecraft because, as I said before, I need an artist and I can't be bothered to make shit myself. I obviously won't be releasing the game with stolen textures in them. This is just a temporary solution to not having any graphics. The next step is to make the items actually able to be placed on tables. I've given a little bit of a floaty animation to these items based off of sine waves just to make them kind of pop out, and they also billboard out at the camera so that they don't look weird from certain angles. After that, I just made a general item object that every item will be made out of, and I made a general container script for anything that holds items. This will make it easier to make more than just one type of item holdy thingy in the future, because we'll probably want more than just display stands, let's be honest. One problem that I've noticed with other games in a similar vein is that when you have a lot of pieces of furniture right next to each other, it's sometimes hard to distinguish what furniture you're actually about to interact with before you hit the interact button. So right now I'm just using Unity's particle system to make a nice little animation that'll play, showing you which interactable the button will activate. So it's literally just the closest one to the player, and I think this nice little animation will help make it stand out a little bit and be more immediately obvious to the player. So that was everything that I'd finished on Monday, and due to the nature of my job, the summertime is the busiest and it's also storm season, so I didn't really get a chance to work on shit again until Friday night. And on that dreary night, I decided that I was going to put an apple into the game, and I'd be damned if I was going to let anyone stop me. So after I completed the Herculean apple task, I figured it was time to give the player an inventory. I can't really test anything until the player actually has a way to place their items onto a table, so this was definitely a necessity. You'll notice how incredibly shitty it looks, because I am not a designer and I am in fact a tiny little baby idiot man. So it looks horrible dumpster garbage person, and I apologize for that. So as soon as I gave up and deleted the entire GUI I worked on, I decided to do something else. The something else in question was making the item classes I'd done earlier be a bit better. I wanted a feature similar to Recettear, where customers would approach you and just be like, "Hey man, I'm hungry, I want some food, what do you recommend?" And after that, you'll be able to show him any of the food in your shop, and he'll probably buy it as long as it's not too expensive. I was always a big fan of that feature, and I thought it was really creative. So I talked with my friend Ray, and he told me that inheritance-based scriptable objects are probably the way to go. So I said, okay, and I did it. It was kind of a pain in the ass to set up, so I hope he was right, and I don't find a better way down the road that requires some massive dog shit refactoring. Anyways, the last thing that I accomplished this week was a nice little sketch up of some better UI. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of proud of myself for the way that it turned out. The end product looks pretty fucking clean if I do say so myself. So the very next thing I'm going to do next week is start actually making it work so that you can place, remove, and replace items from other containers without worrying about too much else. So yeah, that wraps up all the work that I did this week on Shopkeeper's Requiem. That name is kind of a working title at the moment, so I suppose we'll see how well it sticks. And as I mentioned earlier, I am indeed looking for paid labor to help me work on this project. If you're interested in one of these positions, then you can reach me at the email listed in the contact info section of the YouTube channel. At the moment, I'm looking for a 2D digital artist / animator. I'm looking for a 3D texture artist and a 3D modeler. Way later on down the line, I'll probably need some help with voice work and a few other things, but as I said, that's way, way down the line, so I'll mention it whenever I need it, but aside from that, that's really all I have for you guys this week. So just to recap, my name is Rangicus, and this piece of shit is Shopkeeper's Requiem, and thanks for spending the time to give this devlog a watch. I genuinely can't express how excited I am to finally bring one of my favorite ideas to light. So, have a good one.